The Guy, Sharyn and Clint podcast.
Hello everybody, welcome along to the Guy, Sharyn and Clint podcast. We're recording this from a different place at the moment. We're in Wellington because today's show was broadcast out of Wellington. Ooh. Wellington is genuinely my favourite city in New Zealand.
That is such a lie. You told us on the plane ride down how much you hate Wellington.
I know, I've changed. I now love Wellington. This is my favourite place.
What do you love about Wellington, Clint?
I'm not just saying this because the people of Wellington are out on the street looking in the windows at me at the moment in the studio. But I love the people and I love the vibe. I love the vibes.
It feels like you're just saying what I say.
Well, no, I'm not, because my motto on things
is one of my words.
Well, no, is it? Because that's weird, because it's mine too. One of my favourite things in the way I live my life is life's a joke, feel the vibes.
That's my life motto that you've just stolen there
my life motto
to abuse me.
This is so weird.
It seemed like you're mocking me, because I was going to say that Wellington's one of my favourite places, and genuinely is a word that I like to say when I'm being sincere, and Clint has just stolen my entire personality. What are you going to do next? Start wearing glasses and be real cynical about things?
There's not enough room for that much cynicism.
This is...
bet yourself. You nailed the word cynicism there.
I don't think there's enough room for that much cynicism in this room. If everyone was cynical.
There's not enough room for cynicism in this room.
Not anymore. We've got enough.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway, you guys are boring me. Here's the podcast.
This happens quite a lot. We go stir crazy at the end of the podcast. Coming out is quite a good show. We had a good show here in Wellington. We have Patrick Gower on the show. We have my terrible attempts at breaking into the Royal Press Conference.
I met an All Black and some paparazzi today.
It's going to be a lot of good times. Check it out.
I was here.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint on the edge.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint, live from Wellington on Royal Watch.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome along to the show. Guy, Sharyn and Clint in a different location. Today we're live from the capital. We're in Wellington.
Oh, it's so... Well, it's not that beautiful because it's very foggy, but we've got a view of Cuba Street. It's so amazing. I love being in Cuba Street.
We're here to cover the Royals. We're talking in depth. We're literally going through their trash from each destination that they visit. We're bringing you the best Royal coverage in New Zealand. Plus, we've already shotgun using the song Royals by Lord. So no other news network can use that ever now.
Shame.
You're listening to One News. If we hear this on the bulletin tonight, you'll be getting a strongly worded cease and desist letter. We'll bring you all the best bits we've caught today, and next we want to ask you a Royals-based question. So if you'd like to join the show, if there's something you would always have wanted to ask William and Kate, that's what we'll do next.
We'd also like to formally apologise at the start of the show today for abuse hurled at some people on Willis Street in Wellington today because we accidentally went down a bus lane and Guy...
We didn't accidentally. We were nailing life. We went down the bus lane. It was great.
Guy was abusing passers
No,
by.
I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't.
We are in Wellington and it turns out that not too many people like us and and it wasn't because we did anything, Clint. It was something that Guy did this morning.
This is rubbish.
Down Willis Street.
Okay, so Clint drove us in the marked edge car, the Roadrunner. We're there to give out some shapes roadies, and bloody Clint's driving down the main bus lane of Willis Street.
And the annoying thing was, it was like a real packed time, so we'd already made a mistake. Clint's already freaking out. He's driven down the wrong way.
Sharyn, you were freaking out. You were like, get off the bus lane.
Guy decides to hang out the window and abuse people.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
well, you
did.
did.
You did. Listen to this.
We're not listening in the bus lane. I'm stuck in a bus lane.
I'm on the top of the world. I'm in a bus lane. Woo! Living the dream, pussies. Sucked in people walking. Sucked in people on the bus. Is that the police? Watch out for the police.
See? That is why people in Wellington don't want us to come back anytime soon.
Those were good times.
Hey, by the way, we are on Royal Watch. Apparently the Royal car has just been seen driving over to the Wairarapa, so
Yes.
you might see them if you're over in Masterton Way.
The Crown car was heading towards the bottom of Lake Wairarapa, Western Lake Road, about 5 minutes ago. So it's probably a wee bit further on than that now. So I reckon they might be doing a Martinborough mission.
If you see the royal couple at any stage during the day, please text in to 3343. We want to keep track of them.
I had so many questions when I saw them. Like, I'd love to just sit down and ask them ridiculous questions.
Ask them your wisdom.
But just like everyday questions, because when they arrived, Kate looked beautiful.
Yeah.
She had this amazing, like, red coat on, and she was all dressed up with a hat, and her hair and makeup were perfect. William looked perfect. All I wanted to know was, even though they're just flying from Sydney, when they did that long haul flight, what do they wear on the plane? Like, do they wear track pants and Ugg boots like everyone else and then just get ready? Or are they dressed ready to get off the plane?
That is way better. Why didn't you ask that question when we were standing there behind the fence trying to yell at them?
Well, I didn't. I panicked, so I just said "Welcome to New Zealand" real loud.
There'd be those questions that if any question was not out of bounds, there's stuff you want to know because they're such fascinating people and really they're public, but they're such private people as well.
I asked them. I yelled to the fence for anyone who wants to know. I didn't really get an answer for these, but I yelled out, "How are you enjoying New Zealand thus far?"
They had just stepped off the plane,
and I also asked them, "Can I kiss your baby?" I'm not sure what the response was for either of those because they're a bit far away, but they smiled. They looked happy about it, so kind of a yes.
If no question was out of bounds, I would ask them, and be honest, have you guys ever done it with the crown jewels on? Have you ever worn the crown jewels?
I'm just saying.
While embracing the crown jewels.
We all know that they were. we all know that they
Do they have a crown? I've never seen them wearing a crown.
But also maybe they wouldn't because that's gone through all their family. So if the Queen had done
it... getting into weird territory.
They're using their grandparents' props.
Let's put the question out there to everybody right now. Sky, Sharyn and Clint live from Wellington with Chang pushing the buttons back in Auckland. So if we have a Rachel Smallsy moment today and something accidentally happens when the microphones have been left on, send your emails to chang@theedge.co.nz.
I love how he's going crazy just as the song finishes. He's like, shut up now, stop talking. Fair enough as well. So what we were wondering today is the one question you'd like to ask the Royals if you could meet them. We tried to meet them at the airport, so we were yelling through the airport fence. I asked them, can I kiss your baby? That got a pretty lukewarm sort of response.
I'd like to ask them, what does the Queen's house smell like?
That's a very good question.
If it smells musty.
Yeah, does it smell like old lady house, or does she...
I would imagine it would smell amazing with all the butlers they've got.
I think it smell like potpourri.
I would like to know if they have any secret tattoos. That people don't know about, because they're not allowed to show them. Like,
Harry would.
Harry probably has a dragon on his butt cheek, just to be bad. Although, no, we would have seen that. We had those naked photos of him.
Gross.
So we're opening it up to you. If you could ask them any question, what would you ask them?
Laura, what would you ask them?
Hi, I'd ask if they, squeeze the Queen's tea bag out when they're making her a cup of tea.
Yep.
Or if she has people that does that'd be interesting. I reckon she'd definitely have just a servant that just does tea bagging.
Do you reckon?
Ronald, the teabagging butler. Ronald, it's time for my teabagging.
Sharyn is losing her crap over there.
Sorry.
She said teabagging once and she just she couldn't hold it together. Too much comedy.
Teabagging the Queen. Ronald, don't.
Who's next on the phone lines? And can I please ask...
Jess, what's your question?
Jess, you're not allowed to say teabagging, mate. Good luck.
No, I'd ask if they pull any practical jokes on each other.
Like a teabagging. Ronald would double date the teabag, I reckon.
Let's get another caller on the line and see if they can not ask something that they can segue back to teabagging.
Thanks, Jess.
Who's next on the line?
Anna, what's your question for Wills and Kate?
Which their favourite Kardashian is.
Oh, that's all right. Thank you. There's no way of getting teabagging out of that one, Shazdock.
It'd really be Kim because she got teabagged in that season.
No.
Yeah, who
Did she get teabagged by Ray J?
Shush, we can't talk about that. It's 3 o'clock. There's kids in the car. Anna, who do you think your favourite Kardashian would be?
Hopefully Chloe, because she's the best.
Exactly. Everyone's favourite Kardashian is Chloe because she's the only one that's relatively normal.
No, my favourite one is the crazy rich guy who dresses in suits and stuff like that.
Scott Disick.
Scott Disick's everyone's favourite.
He's not a Kardashian though.
But he's a Lord Disick, so...
Yeah.
He was already royalty. That is a good question, Anna. Hey, if we end up getting to talk to them, we'll ask.
Good.
Okay.
If we get to talk to them, that's the question we're going with.
And when's Ronald coming? Because he sounds like a good time.
This morning, Guy... We'll ask him what time's tea. Next,
Guy, Sharyn and Clint on the Edge.
We managed to make it awkward as soon as we got here too, didn't we?
A little. It wasn't too bad. I feel like we fit in really well with all the other journalists on the Royal Tour and stuff like that.
Not really. We did the mish this morning where we turned up to the military part of the airport and we pulled up to this gate and there is military police, there is normal police, there is about 50 paparazzi and journalists from places like Hello Magazine, the BBC, CNN, Sunrise from Australia.
I love how you ranked Hello Magazine before the BBC.
Hello Magazine is amazing and it's the biggest royal magazine in the world.
But they're not the BBC.
We had everyone that was anyone in the media that followed the royals were there. And
Was Prime News there?
Probably.
Because they're first at 5:30. So, I mean, the BBC's pretty good, but Prime News is first at 5:30. That's pretty good.
So we just rocked up. We don't have media accreditation.
No.
How do I say that word?
I think it's pronounced a coup d'etat.
Thank you very much. Whatever.
He's screwing with you. It's accreditation.
Thank you. We didn't have that, so we couldn't get in. So Guy just decides to address this entire crowd, which is about 50 to 60 super serious people.
Yeah.
And his jokes went down like a lead balloon.
Hello, media of the world. I'm Guy Williams. Nice to meet you. I just want to say before everyone starts, I don't know what song people are using for their stories, but we, the Guy, Sharyn and Clint show, are going to be using Royals. So you guys are going to have to, by Lord, so you guys are going to have to use something else, okay? Just we would first shotgun Royals, just to let everyone know. Cool. And welcome any foreign press as well. Welcome to New Zealand. Or as we say in New Zealand, kia ora.
Chilly response.
I thought that went well. I thought that went really well.
It didn't go well at all.
They hated me so much. Why are they so angry and so serious?
I think because you sort of made them feel like you knew what they were doing. Like, oh, good, finally an announcement. And then it was just some idiot making a joke on the radio.
Their job is just to follow around some blockhead royals around the world who do nothing.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, good point. That is what we're doing. Yeah, very good point.
And also...
You kind of bummed me out there.
You know why they were really angry, though?
Why?
It's because they all wanted first dibs on using Lord Royals as well.
We shotgunned it. We got hold of it. That's a very good point. Clint also had an awkward moment today when he tried to rub noses with a British paparazzi, and that did not go well at all.
Guy with a huge camera lens leaning over the fence. I thought I'd go and talk to him. Hi there, sir. Very long lens you've got for your royal watching duties. Are you part of the paparazzi? I've just got an official piss off. I think that means he is part of the paparazzi.
So basically what we've learnt today is that we are not considered serious journalists.
Well, who's serious when you're covering the royals? Who's serious?
People will take it very, very seriously.
Prince Harry, the Ginger one, is dressed up as a Nazi before. He was naked the other day. I saw a photo of his willy.
See, Prince Harry would have loved us if we were there.
These guys are jokes.
There was only one person there that was having a good time, and that was the chick from 7 Sharp, who, when we told her we didn't have media accreditation, she said, hey, you can borrow mine and just go and photocopy it on the colour printer.
Is that the Duplessis Ellen?
Yeah.
She offered to let us photocopy her media accreditation. I promise we did get some good audio. And did we get to talk to the prince? No, we didn't. But
that was a good tease, though. You should have kept that tease going for the whole show.
We did get some good photos, though, and you can see them on our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/Edge Afternoon.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint. On the Edge.
So I said to this girl, you're a real lardo. Oh, our microphone's on. Jesus.
That was such a terrible joke.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint, we're live from Wellington. That's Cerebrellis.
I thought my dad was working on Courtney Place today, but it turns out he's here telling jokes.
Dad jokes.
I thought that was all right. And if we keep up this rate of these high-quality gags, we might get another fan. Because I don't want to brag too much about it. I do want to brag about it. We actually ran into a fan today.
Ooh. Oh, you said the courier driver. Yeah.
You guys were there during this conversation. We ran into a dude who said he went to school with Chang. What are you going to say, Sharyn?
Brian the courier.
Brian the courier.
Yes.
Who could forget him? He's a memorable guy.
I know. I loved Brian.
He went to school with Chang. And Chang, do you remember Brian the courier, mate?
I can't remember.
He wouldn't have been a courier back then. That's just been Brian from school. That's Fijian Brian from school.
That's the thing about you, Chang. You've become too big for your boots, mate. You've forgotten where you came from.
Oh, trust me, I've never forgotten where I came from.
So this dude was bragging about going to school with Chang, and this is it's pretty funny to hear his description of Chang.
Yeah, this is what Brian had to say about you, Chang-a-ling. We've just met Brian, who's a courier. You deliver all the packages to the Wellington Edge offices?
Yes, I do.
You said you knew Chang before he was famous.
Yes.
So are we talking when he was at university in Auckland?
When he was in high school in Fiji.
Still in Fiji? What was Chang like when he was at high school?
Skinny, short, bullied.
So much like he is now?
Yes,
Exactly the same.
very close to what he is now, yeah. And full of talk.
Yeah. Full of shit. Brian just mouthed the word shit to me. All right, hey, good to meet you, Brian.
Yeah, bro. No
Cheers.
worries.
I love that. It's actually kind of sad that they say that he was bullied. Poor old little Chang. You've been such a cute little kid as well.
I don't know what to say to that.
Did you have a sad childhood, Chang? I can't imagine it. You're such a happy guy.
No, because I was the only Asian guy in our school. My friends were all Indians and Fijians.
That's what Brian said to us.
Yeah.
I said, how did you know Chang? He goes, small country plus the Asian dudes stood out.
Yeah. Imagine in going to high school and you're the only kind of your race in that school.
So he was kind of bragging that he went to school with Chang, and that's why I thought I wanted to ask everyone today. That was a question I wanted to pose to everyone. Who did you go to school with? Did you go with a celebrity as big as Chang? Who did you go to school with, Sharyn?
What celebrity?
I went to school with this girl that Bono got on stage in Auckland and sang to.
Dang!
No big deal. Beat that, suckers.
Why'd she get on stage? Was she the one?
No, he just grabbed her and out of the crowd and then sung to her, and it was like on the front page of the paper and stuff and all that sort of
That's
stuff.
pretty
Totally
big.
made it. I went to school with Drew Nemia.
No one can top that. After that, there will be no more.
But at that stage, he wasn't Drew Nemia from Sticky TV. He was just Drew Nemia from the Utter Peanut Nutter Butter ads.
Was he in those?
Yeah, he was an Utter Peanut Butter Nutter.
His career is we should do a true Hollywood story of Drew Nemia. Started as a McDonald's young entertainer.
Yeah.
That's as big as it gets, really.
Well, yeah,
Then
yeah.
he was an Utter Peanut Butter Nutter.
Yeah.
And then he was on Drew and Shannon Live. Unbelievable story.
I just thought of another person that I kind of went to school with.
Okay, this is gonna be good.
I didn't go to school with him, but my friend Arlene and I used to every Thursday stalk Tamati Allison at the Porirua Mall. And it was like a late night, and he'd always go and we'd just follow him around because we thought he was real hot, and he played like for the big rugby teams and stuff.
I cannot believe that you used to stalk Tamati Allison. If I knew who he was, I would be even more
How do you not
amazed.
know who he is? He's a rugby player.
Who could forget Tamati?
He was an All Black one time.
Hannah, who did you used to go to school with?
I went to school with Lydia Ko.
Oh,
Whoa!
there you go.
What was Lydia
Yeah.
Ko like? Was she quite...
She was like the nicest person ever. I was 2 years older than her because I only just left school, Little Pinehurst, and she was quite a humble kind of person. Like, I remember she spoke at assembly, and she kind of, she doesn't really speak much about all her
What
winning.
did she say at assembly? Did she say, so then I just hit the ball into the hole real good and
Well, pretty much.
get the money
Really?
real good?
Hannah, that's good. I wonder if we can top Lydia Coe.
Someone texted and said, I went to school with Guy Williams, never
Oh.
had any friends, he was a big goober.
People literally have just used this as an opportunity to just insult me to my face via the text machine.
I just thought it was really nice that your mum texted.
People are saying Guy has a big head. I went to school with Guy. He was a loser. I went to school with Guy. He had no friends. I went to school with Guy. These are all true, by the way.
I went to work with Guy and we had to have a pity party after all the mean texts he got.
So we're asking you on the phones who you went to school with that's now a bit famous.
Hendrix, what about you?
Hi there. Yes, I went to Charlize Theron.
Wow.
Oh,
Was
wow.
that over in South Africa?
Yes, over in South Africa in Boksburg. Yep.
What was she like at school?
Oh, she was really nice and friendly and helpful. So, she was 3 years older than me. So,
Was she hot?
So, yep.
Was she always as good looking as she was, or was she an awkward teenager?
No, she was always good looking.
Was she, did a few guys get a pash out of Charlize Theron?
Say again?
Did she get a few pashes behind the bike sheds in South Africa when she was at school?
No, not that I know of, no.
Are you asking if Charlize Theron was a sluzzer back at high school?
Yeah, I was just asking the question. Just putting it out
It
there.
needs to be asked. It needs to be asked. That's amazing. Go to school with one of the most beautiful women in the world. That's incredible.
That is pretty impressive. And we go from the classy to the trashy of Celebrity World. Jules, tell us who you went to school with.
I went to school with Courtney Love.
Now, is this when she did a stint when she lived here over in Nelson?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. And
Yeah, it was in 1976, and I was in the second form. But she wasn't Courtney Love; she was Courtney Manelli, and she came from Portland, Oregon.
was she quite...
She was out there.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a nice way to put, was she always crazy, Jules?
Was she
she's a nut.
Did she used to sniff
but
twink and-
nice. She, she was just so much more worldly than we were. I was boarding school, so we were tied up, in an all-girls school.
Oh.
Her father was on a commune out in Nelson somewhere,
Weird.
and her mother sent her over, and she was boarding.
Nelson's
at Nelson
such
College
a
for
weird
Girls,
place,
and
eh?
she taught us all how to say the McDonald's, two all-meat patty, special sauces, cheese, pickles, onions, and sesame seed bun, because it was when the first McDonald's opened in Peru, and we'd never heard of it. Yeah.
I thought that it would, when you said she all taught us something, I was waiting for you to finish that sentence. She taught us all to smoke properly and not bum pump.
Oh, we knew how to do that.
That is awesome, Jules. Thanks for your call. And Bryce, who did you go to school with?
Yeah, I went to school with Keisha Castle Hughes soon after she was on Well Rider.
Whoa!
Oh, wow. And do people used to mock her, or were they nice to her?
Yeah, it was about the time that Brotown was on, so there was always a big group of guys following her around saying, "I love you, Keisha, pew pew, pew pew." It was pretty awesome, but she only lasted a week at school and then she took off.
Oh, that's because Keisha's actually a really nice person, and she's the sort of person if you did mock her, she'd probably just have a laugh with you. So did she not take it very well at that stage?
No, not really. The group kept getting bigger and bigger around her. So.
Did you bully Keisha Castle Hughes out of school?
No.
That is horrific.
Not me.
I'm just imagining a group of dudes all sitting around her and being like, pew, 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 pew.
Which would get very annoying.
Yeah. It would be quite terrible. Oh, well, next time you see her, make sure you're nice to her.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint. On the Edge.
We are broadcasting live from Wellington today as we are on the royal hunt. We spent the entire morning up until about 2 o'clock this afternoon chasing the royals, waiting for the royals. And you know what they say about Wellington? You can't beat Wellington on a good day. You can't. My Uncle Simon says it all the time, saying, "Oh yeah, can't beat Wellington on a good day, Shazza."
The problem is the good days come around so infrequently, and today was a shocker. We didn't even think the Royals were going to arrive. Luckily, I feel like it played into our hands. Don't throw stuff at me.
You're not looking. You're having a conversation.
I'm looking at the view. I'm looking at the weather.
He has his back completely turned to us.
I'm looking at the beautiful view.
Carry on the conversation without him.
The terrible view.
Shut up. This is our chat.
The terrible view kind of played into our hands, though, because it meant that the people who were there to welcome the Royals, who we spoke to, were the biggest loonies, the cream of the crop. It weeded out all the normal people, and it meant we just had the true Royal fans there at the airport.
The diehards who are willing to get cold and wet.
So we have got right now the top 3 most interesting royal watchers that we met today. Coming in at number 3 were the 2 nanas that were the most passionate people in this entire crowd.
Ladies, 2 hours of waiting for the Royals to get a 30-second look at a baby. Was it worth it?
Yes.
It was worth it?
Absolutely.
Was it everything you ever hoped for and more?
I would have liked to have seen the Prince wearing a hat. Prince William should have been wearing something on his head.
Do you like what Kate was wearing?
Yes.
Oh, she looked gorgeous.
She always does.
And doesn't George look chubby?
He's a gorgeous little boy. But of course he is. He's a royal.
They were loving it.
How good was that? You're like, if you could be anything different, what would you like? And it's like, I would like to see the prince wearing a hat.
And people were saying that was because his bald spot, he's almost got the Charles haircut now. He's going balder and balder. He should be getting into different sorts of hats.
Baby George has more hair than his dad, and he's only 8 months old.
And coming in at number 2 of the most interesting people we met royal watching today was none other than All Black Ben Franks.
New Zealand royalty.
Yes.
Even All Blacks are interested in the royal tour. Ben Franks, good morning or afternoon? How long have we been standing here? Good morning still.
Yeah, still good morning.
Yeah. You're here to see the Royals. In all honesty, do you want to see them, or have you just come down because the missus dragged you down?
Yeah, the second one.
Who would you be most excited about seeing if you get the chance to?
I was just excited to come down for a coffee, but...
Now you're standing outside in the wind and you're cold.
Yeah, those are things you got to do when you give up your weekends, so... I should be excited to see them.
I loved that comment at the end. It's just the things you've got to do when you don't have your weekends.
Because you've got a little crush on Ben Franks.
I just think that's a really romantic thing to say, because he's always away with rugby and stuff. So when he's back, he just does whatever his wife makes him do.
Does he play for the Canes?
Yes.
Oh, is he having a good season?
I don't know.
Because I feel like he should be out practicing rugby, because the Canes are terrible, as opposed to hanging around behind a fence.
They won on the weekend.
Who the hell did the Canes beat?
I don't know. I just remember some team.
The Bulls, I think.
Bulls. Yeah, the Bulls. They beat the Bulls. And just in the last couple of minutes, Bowden Barrett, actually.
Oh, that's good news. Good to hear the Canes are turning things around.
Anyway, back to the top 3 most interesting people we met royal watching today was a paparazzi photographer. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, boring. But he had really cool stories.
He is a New Zealand paparazzo, which you wouldn't expect to exist.
So what you're saying is those pictures of the Ridges having lunch and Paul Henry jumping off a boat,
someone's got to take them.
They're actually real.
Might have been this guy.
Are you real life paparazzi?
Yeah.
Did you take those photos of Lord when she was in her bikini?
No.
No, you're not that paparazzi?
Nah.
No? What's the most paparazzi sensational photo you've ever snapped?
Some of Justin Bieber in the skate park in Auckland.
Sick, doing his tagging?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can I ask a serious question? Like, what would a picture of the Royals, if you could get a good picture of the Royals, say you could get Kate's skirt blowing up, how much money could you make for a picture like that?
Like, anywhere from like $1,000 to like $20,000.
$20,000 for a pervy little undie pic?
Right photo.
I'm in the wrong job.
Yeah, because you're not getting paid for the undie photos that you're taking, are you?
No,
definitely not. I reckon he may have got that shot today because her dress was flying up everywhere.
Hey,
there was
fingers
almost
crossed.
there was almost a full up skirt.
There you go. Those were the 3 most interesting people we met while we were royal watching today, waiting for the plane to come in with Prince William and Princess Kate and baby George.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint on the Bloody Edge.
We were talking about times that you have bluffed yourself into an awesome situation. So if you have got a story, call us on 0800 The Edge or text us to 3343. This morning we were at the military air base to go and greet Will and Kate and George coming off the plane. And our very own Guy Williams decided to use his body to get onto the base to get a little bit closer. And it didn't go that well, did it?
It went well. I thought this went well.
Did it?
I tried hard and I had a good attitude all the way through.
So we just want you to shut your eyes right now. Imagine a whole lot of military police. Imagine a rainy day. Imagine people on edge. And then imagine Guy Williams dancing up onto you.
Hello, Guy Williams reporting for interviewing, please.
Morning, Guy. Do you have your pass on you?
I do not have a pass.
That is unfortunate. I believe you're not on our list either.
I'm not on the list. Can I... If I do a cool dance, will you let me in?
Sorry, not up to me.
It's a pretty cool dance, though. How about now?
Mildly impressed. Sorry, still can't let you in.
Still can't let me in, okay.
The military police guy.
Awkward.
The military police guy said to you, mildly impressed. Still can't let you onto the base.
It was the most awkward dance as well. If you've ever watched our Dance of the Days on Facebook, it was very much like that, and just as much pelvic thrusting as normal.
I put a lot of sizzle onto the end there when I went to jazz hands. Always a good way to finish a dance.
Try to sizzle your way into the airbase.
But no dice for me.
People were allowed in there. That's the thing. There was a chance you could have bluffed your way in. Media from around the world were allowed in, but they had done research, unlike us, and they had applied weeks in advance for media accreditation.
Research is for pussies.
And they've been police approved. And you tried to use your body to get on the base.
We want to hear successful stories, though, of when you've managed to bluff yourself into something awesome. I've only got one time I've been successful with bluffing myself into, a cool situation.
Yes.
Was when I was in San Francisco and I was coming home and I didn't have any cash left and this cab didn't take card, only took cash. And he was wearing a Flight of the Conchords t-shirt and I was like, you love Flight of the Conchords? He's like, yeah, I do. I was like, I am Brett McKenzie's sister.
Amazing.
And he was like, shut up, you are not. And I was like, I am. I was like, we live together in Wellington. Like, I flat with him. He is my brother. He's like, well, you get in, girl. I'll give you a ride home. And he gave me and my friends a free taxi ride back to our hotel because he really believed I was Brett McKenzie's sister. And I said to him, I was like, do you want me to, should I try call him? And started pretending to call him. He's like, no, don't worry about it.
You gone, did it, girl.
Girl, I go, did it, girl.
Gone, did it, girl.
Free taxi home.
That is amazing.
I've actually got a friend. His name's Devos. He lives over in London, and he looks like Richie McCaw.
Great,
but like a skinnier version, and he gets away with it all the time, being Richie McCaw's brother in London.
Just show up to the games and I'm Richie. I'm here to play. Can I come in?
I sadly don't have the same stature. He's a lot smaller. But we've got Al on the line right now. Al, where did you bluff your way into?
I was in Macau, which is off of China, and they have the world's highest bungee jump.
Wow.
And there was 2 Kiwis and then a friend of ours who's Canadian, and she wanted to do this for her birthday, but she couldn't afford it. So we're like, how much of a discount do you need for us, like for you to do the bungee? And so we went up to the poor people at the desk and went on this huge long story about how we knew AJ Hackett himself and we were there for the first bungee when they went off the bridge in Queenstown. And just like talked them into it, and they started off going, no, we can't.
That's like going to a McDonald's and going, hey, I know Ronald.
Yeah, well, it worked. She got a free bungee. Finally, they're like, you know what? Okay.
That is a massive success, Al. I love that. I reckon there'll be lots of Kiwis that do that around the world to all the AJ Hackett sites. Laura, where have you bluffed yourself into?
So I had a new boyfriend. We were going to a concert that he loved, and I kind of bluffed my way through the big scary bouncers at a Bone Thugs and Harmony concert and got to interview Wishbone.
What? You did an interview with Wishbone?
Yeah.
Did you have any sort of recording device?
I actually did, and I used my phone, so I recorded the interview and I took notes. I'd done half of a journalism degree, so I sort of knew how to
Did you take your boyfriend with you?
Pardon?
Did you take your boyfriend with you, or did you take him back to the interview?
No, I took him in with me and his best friend, because I said, look, here's these guys, they are huge fans, can they come sit in the corner?
Amazing.
And, yeah.
Who did you say you were doing the interview
scary.
for? Who did you say the interview was for?
Oh, I said because I interned at Girlfriend magazine.
A Girlfriend magazine interview with Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I know, it really flew, because that would happen ever.
You nailed that one, Laura. Well done, mate. Yeah.
You're the winner.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
One more.
Terence, where did you bluff your way into?
Well, I won't name the city or where it was, but my friend and I were test driving some cars and came across a little bit more expensive one on the lot and bluffed our way into driving it.
What sort of car was it?
A sports car, Jaguar.
Wow!
How much was it worth? What was the price on the windscreen?
150,000. Most expensive car on the lot.
So, were you guys looking to buy a Jaguar? What was the situation at the time?
I think our budget allowed for something a little more along the lines of a 350Z Nissan, perhaps.
So why did they believe you had $150,000? Were you wearing a top hat and a cane and a monocle?
This is actually the awesome bit. I was wearing jandals and just shorts and a t-shirt, and so was my mate, and we just sort of early 20s and just owned it.
You know what? Awesome. And it's because it's like a really common thing in retail, as they always say to you, the person that looks like they don't have much money will come in and spend heaps, and the people that look like they've got heaps of money just try stuff on and leave. So maybe they truly believed that you had the cash.
Last question, Terence, did you do mean burnouts in it before you took it back?
We did get some footage of some awesome stuff happening.
Guys, Sharyn and Clint.
If you watch 3 News and you see that guy who stands outside Parliament all the time and talks about the politician, his name's Patrick Gower. We're actually broadcasting from the same building that Patrick Gower works in on a daily basis at the moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're in Wellington, which means we can welcome to the studio a wonderful special guest from TV3 News, the fantastic, the amazing Paddy Gower!
Welcome to the show, Paddy.
Whoa, it's good to be here.
I need to ask you a question, Paddy. Guy has a political degree.
Yeah, I can tell.
If Guy hadn't ended up being a blowout, could he have ended up doing your job?
Guy
doing the same job?
Why are you talking in the past tense? Because, Guy can't be a comedian forever. There is an avenue in journalism for him. There is an avenue in political journalism. And in the next 4 to 5 years, I wouldn't rule out seeing him in this kind of role.
Well, you're going to regret saying that, because I'm probably going to run into you this year. It's going to be a big year for the big election. So the first question I've got to ask you is, who are you voting for?
Nobody. I don't vote.
You don't
in
vote?
The election, no. Very serious question. I don't vote on election day.
Because I'm just going to play
main reason is this. It's my only chance to have a break, and I don't really want to go and queue up in a school or whatever, but I sort of dress it up as a highly ethical reason.
Who would you say was the coolest person in Parliament? Like the one person in Parliament you'd love to have a beer with and be friends with, and who would you say is like the worst?
If
you can say.
Same person. Winston. Love to have a beer with him. Hate to hang out with him. Depends what sort of mood he's in. Went out for a few beers with him one night. Had a great night. Saw him the next day for an interview. He walked off after one question. Couldn't work the guy out.
He wouldn't have remembered you from the night before, though. He would have been.
Yeah, I know.
Would have been a
Maybe
big
he
night.
didn't. Yeah, maybe he didn't.
Does Winston Peters have as much sex appeal in person as he does when he's at the old folks' homes? Because I've seen old ladies absolutely lose their shit over Winston Peters.
And young ones as well.
Yeah.
And young ones as well. Yeah, I must, I mean, I don't look at him that way, but sometimes when he smiles, it feels like he's smiling just at me.
No, it does. His eyes twinkle. My grandma used to always vote for Winston, and she said he just seems like a nice guy because only nice guys' eyes twinkle.
Yeah, no.
I told her that wasn't true.
Yeah, no, he's a lovely man sometimes.
Before you leave, are you keen to put a call through to Duncan Garner, the other guy who has you on his radio show?
Yeah, I want to talk to him
briefly?
because this is actually a lot better. You've asked more intelligent questions.
Okay. Let's give him a call right now.
Yeah, wish you, mate. Hi, Duncan.
Garner, it's Gow. How are you, mate?
Good. What's happening? Where are you?
Well, I'm in Wellington. Where are you?
I'm in my office, mate.
Well, why haven't you got me on the show today to talk about the political issues around George and all that, and the prince and princess and stuff?
Well, would you like to be on, would you?
Well, maybe. Were you going to have me on or not?
It's all royals, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, well, have me on. I mean, why don't you have me on your show today?
Why are you desperate to be on the show?
I'm not desperate to be on your show, actually. No. I might just go and be on another show with that's going to do better than you and Survey.
Well, what's that one?
Well, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I've got another offer, and they're going to do better than you. They've got more listeners, and they've got more hosts.
What are you talking about?
Well, if you don't want me... No. It's pretty simple, mate. It's pretty simple. If you don't want me, just because the prince comes in and you don't want me, I'll find another radio show.
Well, we do want you on.
Yeah, anyway, I want on lead item or not.
No, we've got... who's our
Duncan, it's Guy, Sharyn and Clint here.
Oh, you prick.
We're taking Paddy Gower away from you, mate.
Hey?
You don't appreciate what you've got, Duncan. We're taking Paddy. He's ours now, and this will teach you.
You can have him, mate. You can have him. He's a fine man, and he's all yours. All right.
I'm lead item on the edge. Lead item on the edge.
But the thing is, mate. The thing about that, Gower, is how come it took you so long to get there, mate? You pricks! You set me up like this. I'm going to get you, Gower. And I want my sticky mags back, Guy.
Later, Dunk.
Later, Duncan.
Go.
Bye, Duncan.
Love you, bud.
Guy, Sharyn, and Clint on the edge.
Hello.
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 Are we on the radio, Chan?
We're on the radio.
This is so...
Oh, this is nice.
This is so professional.
I know, this is so good.
The thing is, we're flying blind today. We're in a Wellington studio, so we can't see what's happening, and Chang is pushing the buttons for us. But that's okay. We are still broadcasting live.
From Wellington. One of my favourite things about Wellington is the way they have named pretty much everything after ex-mayors. We don't do that at all. We don't show that sort of love. They got Frank Kitts Park and various other things. Frank Kitts Park obviously named after
Frank Kitts?
Mayor Frank Kitts. The Michael Fowler Centre, named after Mayor Michael Fowler. Westpac Stadium, named after Mayor Westpac.
We've got Les Mills Gym.
Is that a mayor?
Yeah, we could get...
we named a gym out. The mayor started a gym.
And we could get Len Brown Strip Club.
What?
This is a real cool story.
What came first? The Les Mills Gym or the Les Mills being a mayor? That's quite interesting, eh?
He was a fitness person. I don't know. We'll do some research another time.
Did we announce a fitness... Did we elect a fitness person as our mayor? That is weird.
This is hot shell, right?
We also had a mayor that made cereal.
Guy, Sharyn and...
What are you talking about?
You're an idiot.
Make sure you...
Play a song, Chang.
Okay. I had a cool story to add.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint. Edge.
We're still in Wellington. We've pretty much finished up our royal watching. Just sitting in the studio now, waiting to fly back to Auckland.
And one of the people that was greeting the royals today was watching Clint play rugby on the weekend. Mr. Prime Minister John Key.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was that cool guy with the sword.
Oh no, I wish it was that guy. He had
I wish it was that guy.
He actually had a sword, and I just started yelling. I was like, "I love your sword!"
Game would be over though if the ball bounced onto his sword because I've only got one ball.
Damn straight. So why was John Key at your rugby game?
I was asking the same question. So I came off the field, and Lucy was like, "Don't look now, but John Key is sitting right beside us." I was like, "Where's John Key?
So your girlfriend was sitting next to John Key the entire 80 minutes.
And I was like, where's John Key? And she's like, I stood right beside you. And John leaned forward and was like, hi.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I thought, this is really weird. John Key's here to watch the game because he's never been to any of our games before. He's never shown an interest in Teachers Eastern under 85s before.
So why was he there?
He was there because we were playing his son's team. So I assume Max, his son, was playing rugby for the opposition team.
Does that mean his son is really good and is playing up like 7 grades to play you, or are you real terrible and you're playing down like 8 grades to play him?
Maybe a bit of both. We smashed them, but I am 10 years older than his son. So I don't know which way it goes. I said to him, I thought I'd do a bit of ribbing, and I said to him, are you here to support John? He's like, oh, my son's playing for the other team. It's my John Key voice. And I was like, so you're here for the losing team, are you? And he gave me a, yeah. And then just turned away. But the weird thing is, and this is what I always do, and this is what you should do if you ever see the Prime Minister, if he is somewhere, that means that there is Secret Service there as well.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't go anywhere without the Secret Service.
That's a fun game too, spot the Secret Service. Where were they?
I found them. He had 2. One was sitting in the car, one's always in a car ready to whisk the Prime Minister out at a moment's notice if he needs to.
Yeah.
The other one was loitering around trying to look inconspicuous. His way of remaining secretive, because he's the Secret Service, he was hiding behind a power pole. He was hiding behind a power pole.
Gold.
With his finger in his ear, talking on his earpiece like, yep, Prime Minister's still good. Still just sitting on the grass.
Man, I love New Zealand.
He's talking to some guy right now who's really bad at being subtle.
Yep. No terrorist threats yet. Just keep the car in place. But it was obvious who he was. He was hiding behind a power pole.
Geniuses.
Does look like the Prime Minister may need a hot dog and a drink refill.
Every time, eh? What about today when we're going to see the Royals? I'd like to thank the New Zealand Police for putting out like 400 police officers in bright yellow jackets to maintain the crowd of about 50 old ladies, probably. They kept them well under wraps. Great work, guys.
It was so funny, though, when John Key walked out to the tarmac. I think he's the only Prime Minister that probably gets heckled because he walked out. I was on Clint's shoulders. I was like, John! Good to see you! How are you? And he was like,
trying to be cool in front of the princess.
Saw our jackets, was like, God, the Edge, you're embarrassing me again.
Every time.
All I'm saying is, wherever you see John Key, look for a power pole or a bit of shadow, and you'll find his Secret Service.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint's Edge.
Still in our Wellington studios. It's nice here. It doesn't matter to anyone else where we are. It's a weird to keep.
It doesn't matter to anyone where we are, because it doesn't matter where we are. One segment that follows us everywhere that Sharyn and Clint don't really like, but I bloody love. It's time for another instalment of Sharyn Schoolyard Stories.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Uberfacts.
Oh, I got excited.
Uberfacts tomorrow, mate. Save your time up for Uberfacts, but right now
have time for Sharyn Schoolyard Stories.
Schoolyard Stories. Clint the other day said it was ruining the show.
It's not helping.
It's because he wished he had a good schoolyard story.
Today on Sharyn Schoolyard Stories, Sharyn, can you please tell the story of the boob puncher at your school?
We had a kid, and I don't know, at our school, I don't know if it was just like one of those, I like you, I'm going to punch you to show my affection thing.
That's how I get chicks.
But he, would punch girls in the breasts.
Yeah.
And so then the teacher had to tell him, and then we had a thing in an assembly about how you should never punch a female in the breasts, and girls should never,
anywhere.
Obviously.
Yeah, actually, or anywhere.
But just saying, they told us that you shouldn't punch girls in the breast because it could give them breast cancer. And then they also told us, because there was at the time there was all these bulrush and stuff, and there was this thing called the nutcracker that girls had been doing to boys.
What?
Which is when you would, if they were on the ground, you'd grab their legs and then kick them in the nuts.
Oh, this is the most.
I'd never done it, but they had this assembly, and they just said that if you punched a girl in the breast, you could give her breast cancer, and that the nutcracker was unacceptable.
There's so many things wrong with this. First of all, the breast puncher is giving people cancer by punching people in the breast.
It wasn't like it was like a hard punch. I only ever got one, but I was known as Holland, so because Holland has no hills, because I was a surfboard.
That's bullying.
Oh my god, we
got in too deep on this Sharyn Schoolyard Stories.
No,
we'll have to talk about breast cancer from punching in the breast another time. That was another exciting installment of Sharyn Schoolyard Stories.
These are the weirdest stories.
Nutcracker is so good.
I'm gonna nutcracker you.
It would be horrific. It would would go to hospital.
Oh my god, how does it feel to get a nutcracker? That's going to be on Wednesday.
Guy, Sharyn and Clint on the edge.
There you go, there's a podcast. Thank you very much for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks.
Well, I thought you were just trying to cut people off right there. I'm like, hey, Clint, don't cut this outro short. We've got to have a high-quality podcast outro that the people can enjoy.
Okay, deliver one.
There was a great big moose.
There was a great big moose.
He liked to drink a lot of juice.
He liked to drink a lot of juice.
There was a great big moose.
There was a great big moose.
He liked to drink a lot of juice.
He liked to drink a lot of juice.
He drank his juice in bed.
He drank his juice in bed.
But he spilled it on his head.
But he spilled it on his head.
He drank his juice in bed.
He drank his juice in bed.
But he spilled it on his head.
But he spilled it on his head.
I sing a wee.
Oh, wee, wee, oh.
I never thought...
Later, motherfuckers.
I can't believe our podcast outro was just saved by the Moose song. This is a new low in broadcasting history. Good night.
No, the biggest low was when you started. Oh! Feel the fire! Get him some ointment for his burn!
Wrap this thing up, Chang.
The Guy, Sharyn and Clint podcast.